General Kael'thas, the human just walked through your containment field like it wasn't there, and now she's asking if we have band-aids. The general's four eyes widened simultaneously as he stared at the tactical display. The Class 7 containment field, designed to stop a Dreadnought-class warship mid-charge, showed a human-shaped breach in its integrity. Beyond it, deep in the station's forbidden zone, biosigns registered impossible readings. "Evacuate the station," Kael'thas ordered, his voice cutting through the sudden chaos of the command center. "Initiate emergency protocols. If that field failed, we have minutes before—" "Sir, the human is— she's bleeding," his tactical officer interrupted, mandibles clicking in confusion. "A minor laceration on her hand. She seems unconcerned about the entity." Kael'thas pulled up the visual feed and felt his respiratory system constrict. There, in the center of what should have been a lethal zone, stood a young human female in maintenance coveralls. She was examining a small cut on her palm with mild annoyance, completely ignoring the radiation warnings flashing across every surface. "Someone get me Earth's liaison," Kael'thas growled. "Now." According to YouTube analytics, 99.6% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, you'll help support the channel and never miss fresh content. "Sir, Earth doesn't have— Then get me anyone who knows about humans." The general's claws dug into his command chair. In 40 cycles of military service, he'd never lost control of a situation this quickly. "Open a channel to the restricted zone." The communication crackled to life. "Seriously, it's just a scratch, but if you guys have a first aid kit nearby, that'd be great. Also, what's with all the alarms?" Kael'thas leaned toward the microphone. "Human Emma Johnson, this is General Kael'thas. You are in extreme danger. That zone is under quarantine for a reason. You must evacuate immediately." "Oh, hey, General!" Emma's voice carried the casual cheer of someone discussing the weather. "Yeah, I figured something was up with all the flashing lights, but I think I found your problem. There's something alive back here, and it seems pretty upset." "We know there's something alive back there." Kael'thas felt his scales rising in agitation. "It killed 3 exploration teams. The radiation alone should have— How are you even conscious right now?" "Radiation? Oh, is that what that tingling is?" Emma laughed. "Honestly, I thought you guys just kept it cold in here. Do you have the AC cranked up or something?" The tactical officer pulled up Emma's bio readings and made a sound Kael'thas had never heard before, somewhere between a gasp and a whimper. "Sir, her cellular structure is— she's absorbing the radiation. Her body temperature is actually rising in there." "That's impossible," Kael'thas stated flatly. "Tell that to the humans, sir." Kael'thas straightened to his full height, drawing on every ounce of command authority he possessed. "Emma Johnson, I am ordering you to stand down and evacuate that zone immediately. This is not a request." There was a pause. Then Emma's voice came back, and for the first time, it wasn't cheerful. It was careful. "General, I appreciate the concern, really, but I'm telling you, if you want me to leave right now, then you'd better stand back. Because this creature is terrified, and if I spook it trying to leave, it's going to tear through whatever's between it and escape, and I'm guessing that includes your containment fields." "The containment fields that you already walked through," the tactical officer muttered. "Yeah, about that. Why did that feel all tingly? Is that normal?" Kael'thas made a decision he would later document as either the bravest or most foolish of his career. "What exactly are you planning to do, Emma Johnson?" "Well, I was going to see if I could calm it down. I mean, it's clearly scared. All this noise and light, and you guys probably tried to shoot it or something, right?" "We deployed our finest combat specialists. Did you try not shooting it?" The general's mandibles worked silently. "Our protocols for unknown hostile entities require—" "Yeah, that's a no then," Emma sighed. "Look, General, I'm going to go a little deeper in here, okay? Don't send anyone after me. The environment in here is— I don't want anyone getting hurt." "You're going to get hurt." "I grew up in Arizona, General." "I'm fine." The comm went silent. Kael'thas watched in horror as Emma's biosign moved deeper into the forbidden zone. The environmental readings made his blood run cold. Temperatures that would vaporize most species' blood, gravity fluctuations that should compress organic matter into paste, atmospheric toxicity that measured beyond the scale. "Sir, her vitals are completely stable," the tactical officer reported, voice hollow with disbelief. "If anything, her stress hormones are decreasing." "Get me the Council's xenobiologist. Emergency priority." Azila arrived 12 minutes later, her crest feathers raised in irritation at being summoned from her research. "General Kael'thas, this had better be—" She stopped mid-sentence as she saw the readings. "What am I looking at?" "A human, in the restricted zone, where the thing that killed 3 of our teams is waiting." Azila's eyes widened, her feathers flattening in shock. She rushed to the console, her claws flying over the controls. "These readings can't be right. Nothing survives in those conditions. The gravity alone." "The human says it feels like Arizona." "What's Arizona?" "I have no idea, but apparently it's comparable to a Class 7 quarantine zone." Azila pulled up Emma's biological data, cross-referencing it with every known species in the galactic database. Her feathers began to tremble. "General, what planet did you say this human came from?" "Earth. It's their homeworld." "Why?" The xenobiologist's claws froze over the keyboard. "General, I need you to run a planetary classification check on Earth, right now." Kael'thas gestured to his tactical officer, who brought up the data. The command center fell silent. "Class 12 Deathworld," the tactical officer read, voice barely above a whisper. "Gravity 1.2 standard, atmospheric oxygen at toxic levels, radiation exposure from local star classified as hazardous, predator saturation—" He stopped. "Sir, the predator saturation is listed as extreme. There are warnings attached to this file." "What kind of warnings?" "Do not engage human species in physical confrontation. Do not assume human limitations based on appearance. Do not attempt to restrict human movement into dangerous environments. They are already from one." Azila was shaking her head in disbelief. A Class 12 Deathworld. She evolved on a Class 12 Deathworld, and we put her in a zone that's classified as Class 8 hazard. "Is that better?" Kael'thas asked. "For her, it's practically a vacation." The comm crackled back to life. "Hey, General, I found her. Oh my God, she's adorable." "Adorable?" Kael'thas and Azila spoke in unison. "Yeah, she's just a baby. Look, I'm going to send you guys a visual. Can you see this?" The screen flickered, and suddenly they were looking at Emma's helmet cam. She was kneeling in an environment that should have killed her instantly, holding out her hand to a creature that had been designated as a Class 9 apex predator. The thing had scales like obsidian razors, claws that had torn through reinforced hull plating, and fangs that dripped with neurotoxic venom. Emma was making cooing sounds at it. "See? She was just scared. All those weapons and noise. Of course she attacked your guys. She thought you were threatening her nest." "That creature is not a she," Azila managed. "According to our scans, it's an it, and it's a killing machine from a rogue planet in the Valar system." "Nah, she's definitely a girl. See these coloration patterns?" "And look," Emma pointed at something in the shadows. "Those are eggs. She's protecting her eggs. That's why she's been so aggressive." Kael'thas felt reality tilting sideways. "Emma, that creature's venom can melt through hull plating." "Yeah, it tingles a bit. Kind of like a bee sting?" "Actually, way less annoying than a bee sting. We have these things back home, killer hornets. Now those are nasty." "She's comparing a Class 9 apex predator to her home planet's insects," the tactical officer said numbly. On screen, Emma was now hand-feeding the creature something from her pocket. "I had some jerky left over from lunch. She seems to like it." The creature, the thing that had killed 3 teams of elite soldiers, was eating from Emma's hand like a domesticated pet. This is impossible, Azila whispered. Every model we have, every theory about survival thresholds. The models don't account for Deathworlders, Kael'thas finished grimly. He'd heard stories, dismissed them as propaganda. Humans were new to the galactic community, their planet only recently discovered. The warnings in their file had seemed exaggerated. They weren't. Exaggerated. Okay, I think I can move her now, Emma announced. She trusts me. Where did you guys want to relocate her? Because this zone is way too cold and noisy for nesting. Too cold, the tactical officer repeated faintly. It's 340 degrees standard in there. Emma, Kael'thas said carefully, what temperature would be comfortable for this creature? Oh, I'd say around 400, maybe 420. Humid, definitely. Low light. Somewhere she can dig. Do you guys have a biodome or something? Azila was frantically searching the station specs. We have. There's a geothermal research station on sub-level 47. It's been deemed too dangerous for habitation. Perfect. What's the temperature down there? 450 degrees standard. The atmosphere is sulfuric. The pressure would crush most species. Sounds great. Can you unlock it for me? Kael'thas and Azila exchanged looks. You're going to walk down there with that creature. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't exactly call her an Uber, can I? Emma laughed. Oh, but seriously, can someone meet me there with that first aid kit? This cut is getting annoying. The cut, Kael'thas said slowly, is your primary concern right now. I mean, I don't want it to get infected. That'd be annoying. Kael'thas watched from a safe distance as Emma emerged from the forbidden zone, the apex predator following her like a devoted pet. She was talking to it in a gentle, encouraging voice, completely ignoring the way its scales scraped sparks from the corridor walls. There you go, good girl. It's okay. These are friends. Well, probably. They did try to shoot you, but I think that was just a misunderstanding. The security teams had their weapons raised but weren't firing, partly because their general had ordered them to stand down, mostly because they were too shocked to function. Emma led the creature to the lift that would take them to sub-level 47. Okay, this might feel weird, but it's just an elevator. We use them all the time on Earth. Well, except in my hometown, we mostly took the stairs because the elevator in my building was always broken, but that's beside the point. The doors closed on the most surreal image Kael'thas had ever witnessed. A young human in maintenance coveralls, riding an elevator with a creature that represented every species' nightmare, chatting about her apartment building. Sir, Azila said quietly beside him, we need to reclassify every dangerous zone on this station. Why? Because if they're survivable for humans, they're not actually dangerous anymore. Kael'thas felt a headache forming behind his primary eyes. Start the paperwork and update the threat assessment database. What should I list as the threat level for humans? The general thought about Emma walking through a containment field designed to stop warships, about her casual dismissal of lethal radiation, about the way she'd tamed a creature that had decimated 3 combat teams. List them as strategic assets, he said, finally. And under no circumstances are humans to be given evacuation orders in crisis situations. Sir, they're not fleeing from danger, Azila. They are the danger. We just have the incredible fortune that they're friendly. His comm beeped. Hey, General. Got her settled in. She's already laid another egg. Do you guys want me to set up some monitoring equipment? I can rig something from maintenance supplies. Emma, you need medical attention for that cut. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Can someone bring the first aid kit to sub-level 47? No one else can survive in sub-level 47. Oh, right. Okay, well, I'll come up then. Be there in a minute. Kael'thas pulled up the environmental data for sub-level 47. The temperature had stabilized at 445 degrees. The atmospheric pressure would liquefy most organic compounds. The sulfuric content would dissolve unprotected tissue in seconds. Emma arrived 3 minutes later, looking slightly flushed. Sorry, I took the stairs. Wanted to cool off a bit. Cool off, Kael'thas repeated. Yeah, it's pretty warm down there. She held out her hand, the cut now clearly visible. So about that Band-Aid? The emergency council session was called for the following morning. Kael'thas found himself standing before the assembled representatives, trying to explain what had happened. Let me be clear, the council chair said, their translators struggling with their tone of disbelief. A single human, employed in maintenance, resolved a crisis that killed 3 of our combat teams by walking through it? Essentially, yes. And the human suffered no injuries except a minor cut from, and I'm reading this correctly, catching herself on a rough edge when she tripped on the way in. That is correct. And you're now recommending that humans be reclassified as strategic assets? Kael'thas straightened. Council Chair, I'm recommending more than that. I'm recommending that we fundamentally reconsider what we classify as dangerous when humans are present. Our entire threat assessment paradigm is based on species that evolved in reasonable conditions. Humans did not. They seem reasonable enough, another council member observed. The Johnson human was quite polite in all communications. That's exactly my point, Kael'thas said. She was polite. She was helpful. She resolved a crisis with compassion and common sense, but she did it while walking through conditions that would kill most of us instantly, treating a Class 9 apex predator like a lost pet, and considering a 400-degree sulfuric environment as pretty warm. The council chamber fell silent. What exactly are you saying, General? I'm saying that humans don't survive their planet despite its conditions. They're comfortable because of them. I'm saying that every dangerous zone on every station and ship needs to be reevaluated with human baselines in mind. I'm saying that we've welcomed a species into the galactic community that redefines what's possible. And you base this on one maintenance worker? I base this on the fact that their maintenance worker did what our best combat specialists couldn't. What happens when we see what their actual soldiers can do? The council chair's translation device went quiet for a long moment. Motion to establish a dedicated xenobiology team to study human capabilities. All in favor? The vote was unanimous. Emma Johnson finished her shift 3 hours later, logging the day's activities in her report. Fixed lighting in Corridor 7B, replaced air filter in Section 12, relocated misplaced fauna to appropriate habitat, requisitioned Band-Aids for first aid stations, current supplies insufficient. She submitted the report and grabbed her toolkit. Station maintenance never ended, and she'd noticed some odd readings from the environmental controls in what the aliens called the extreme hazard zone. Probably just the AC acting up again. As she walked toward the restricted area, alarms began blaring. Emma sighed and pulled out her comm. Hey, General? Yeah, it's Emma. I'm just checking on some environmental controls. No, I'm fine. Why do you ask? Oh, the alarms. Yeah, you might want to reset those thresholds. They keep going off every time I walk around. She paused, listening to his response, and laughed. A dedicated escort? General, I'm just going to check an AC unit, but sure, if it makes you feel better. Oh, and someone should probably feed the new mom on sub-level 47. She's going to get hungry soon. Emma disconnected and hummed to herself as she walked into the toxic atmosphere of the hazard zone, her biggest concern being whether the station's coffee machine would be fixed by lunch. Behind her, through the observation windows, she didn't notice General Kael'thas and Azila watching in resigned fascination. She's humming, Azila observed. Of course she is, Kael'thas replied. Why wouldn't she be? For her, this is just another Tuesday. General, I've been doing some research on Earth. And? They have a saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Seems reasonable. General, on Earth, almost everything is trying to kill you. The plants, the animals, the weather, the insects. Even the local star's radiation is considered dangerous by galactic standards. Kael'thas absorbed this information. So what you're telling me is that humans became stronger because their entire planet spent millions of years trying to kill them, and they just adapted. Exactly. They watched as Emma disappeared into a cloud of toxic gas, still humming cheerfully. Azila, do me a favor. Sir? Update the human threat assessment file with a new warning. Do not attempt to impress humans with dangerous environments. They will not be impressed. They will ask if you have coffee. Should I really? Yes, it's an official military recommendation. The xenobiologist made a note in her datapad, then paused. General, Emma's requesting something through the maintenance system. What does she need? She wants to know if we have a better coffee machine. Apparently, the one on this level tastes like rust water, and she's hoping there's something better in the hazard zone. Kael'thas closed all four eyes. Tell her we'll get her a new coffee machine. Should we tell her it doesn't have to be in the hazard zone? Would it matter? Probably not, sir. Then just get her the coffee machine, and for the love of the council, make sure it's a good one. If we're going to have humans redefining our concept of survival, the least we can do is keep them caffeinated. Emma's voice came over the comm one more time. Oh, hey, found your problem. Some wiring got corroded. I'll have it fixed in a minute. Anyone want me to grab anything while I'm in here? No? Okay, be back soon. General Kael'thas updated his personal log with a single note. Day 1 of human integration. All previous threat assessments obsolete. Request coffee machine. Send help. He paused, then added, Actually, don't send help. The humans are the help. We're the ones who need protecting from our own misconceptions. In the hazard zone, Emma finished her repairs, grabbed her toolkit, and headed back to the main station, already thinking about lunch and wondering if anyone would mind if she adopted the creature's babies once they hatched. They were, after all, absolutely adorable.